Here I am with Linda of She Knows, a health and safety company in Hull again. We're going to be talking now about fixed electrical testing in the workplace. Okay. I suppose what I'm talking about is your pat testing is the stuff that's plugging into the sockets. The fixed wire is the wiring that's in the integrity of the building. So,
well, that's again something that I don't think that us or yourself could actually do. This is an electrician's job.
Yeah.
You know, we've got all qualified electricians. They belong to the is it the Nike registers?
NIC,
you know, NIC, and they that's their job. They come in, they can test things, they can look at your building, look at the circuit breakers, the fuses that you've got in there. Because we know, and again we've mentioned extension leads. You know, it doesn't matter what your buildings, your walls and your hard wiring's built to do. We abuse it, and we abuse it so much because it's just cheaper to plug extension leads in.
Yeah.
The thing to remember is if you have a go at doing it yourself, what is your insurance going to say? If we have an electrical fire, you know, just don't try and save yourself the money. Get a proper guy in, or proper girl in, who's an electrician, and get them to test the electrics. The
only thing with that, Linda, though, is that you're really cool in what you're saying there. We need an approved electrician, someone that's with the NIC. We also need the proper documentation, but it's not only the testing that they're doing on this, it's actually what they're going to be finding, because sometimes they can find things that are going to cost them a lot of money.
I think that's exactly true, but why are you shopping around? You know, again, you can get one guy in to come in and do the testing, he'll make recommendations, then get another electrician in to look at his recommendations.
Yeah.
You know, he may be able to do the recommendations for cheaper, because you're bidding, or he may say, actually, he's gone over the top with that, you really don't need that.
But here's a really good one. If you had your own business that had its own factory, and you knew that if you had it tested, it would come up with a load of faults that was going to cost you a lot of money, you think to yourself, well, I'm better off not knowing, and then I don't have to pay, rather than knowing and then I'm going to have to pay.
But you could, whether or not you have a fire because you've got some poor equipment in there, or you've got a fire because of arson.
Yeah.
The building is not going to get paid for if you haven't done your electrical checks.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually, because a lot of insurance companies now, the ones that are driving this fixed wire testing, aren't they? Yeah. So not only then are you trying to tick the box for your insurance, but also for your health and safety as well. And
because you're doing a lot with new businesses, people sort of migrate into bigger buildings. They start off and they rent. So what is the lease agreement saying? You know, at the end of the day, are the electrics your problem? Yeah. And if you're clever enough, you turn around and you make sure that that lease agreement says they're not your problem. Why should a landlord be able to rent you a property? That's unsafe, illegal.
Oh, well, that's a really good top tip there from Linda. So if you are going to enter into a lease for a building, make sure that the electrical certification's in place. And let's not have it written on some scrappy piece of paper. Let's make sure it's on an NIC-headed letterhead. And then you can check that the job's been done properly and documented correctly. Great tips on fixed wire testing from Linda today. Thanks a lot.